You got it? March 31st, we released our decisions at 5 p.m. to almost 45,000 students. Of those, a very small percentage were admitted. Unfortunately, we are in the business of saying no to the majority of our customers. Cornell Days is our yield program for the university. In fact, it's the largest yield program in the entire Ivy League. We have 6 days spanning over 2 weeks.
Cornell Days is really when the campus comes together to make this place feel really special. We try and make it feel really alive. These aren't just regular college student applicants. These are students that have been admitted to an Ivy League school. They've got offers to other Ivy League schools, and so it's a really competitive process to try and make them want to come to Cornell versus some of our other Ivy League peers. It really takes a lot of planning and a lot of different volunteers and students to really make this event function. We begin planning this event months before it even happens. As a matter of fact, we plan an event for students that haven't even applied to Cornell yet. The second students get accepted, there's this kind of change in their mindset. When students and parents are looking at Cornell, they're really nice. They walk on eggshells in some sense. But the second they get accepted, they now have this sense of entitlement, and suddenly parents think that their child is this all-star because they got accepted to Cornell.
There's definitely a certain amount of pressure from the students, wanting to have those high expectations and come to Cornell and find that everything they hoped it would be, it will be. Just because we are a big school, we are in the Ivy League.
And admissions in an Ivy League institution is something that's viewed as very competitive and held to a very high standard.
The level of expectation definitely goes up, and it definitely makes planning for Cornell Days a larger challenge, and really making sure that everyone is getting great customer service and a great experience overall. It's 9:10 p.m. on a Friday night. I'm at the admissions office right now. Decision letters came out yesterday, and so I'm now going through about 30 different voicemails and a bunch of other emails that came in the last 24 hours. There's this massive influx of information now that students have been accepted. This incoming class, they expect to start treatment, and we have to deliver it to the best of our ability. It really comes down to the execution of each and every single day. So one thing that we started doing in recent years was to have a daily operations coordinator, known as a DOC.
Daily operations coordinator is responsible for coordinating all of the volunteers in the day, so all different Cornell ambassadors, and making sure the day runs smoothly from check-in to our Cornell Days hub on the central campus. Just making sure that visitors and admitted students get the most out of their days.
Part of why it's been difficult this year is because our new class that's coming in for 2020 is going to be really diverse. It's actually the most diverse class we've had in all of Cornell's history. So with that means there's people of different majors coming, different backgrounds, a bunch of different interests. So I think what's really important is that we can capture what's going to attract each one of those different students, because we want to have a lot of the accepted students come that are going to make Cornell really diverse and make it a really exciting environment. So I think planning out those events is what's made it really cool to be a part of Cornell Days. Part of it is that being an Ivy League school, we do have quite a few other schools in our competition. So places like Harvard or Princeton, they're also looking for the same students that are looking at Cornell. So I think really standing out from them is something that's been important, because we want students to realize that Cornell is a different place. It's not like any other Ivy League school. So having Cornell Days is something that really ensures that they understand what it's like to be a part of Cornell.
So a typical day consists of check-ins, which happens right in the beginning of the day and goes on for a couple of hours. Then we have tours and college visits. So certain students are here to just tour the general campus, and others are here to view the specific college and schools that they're interested in. So then following that, we often have community center programs, CCPs, here in RPCC, Robert Purcell Community Center. Those range from kind of just sitting down and talking to current ambassadors, all the way to communicating with one another and getting involved with the RPCC staff here. We also have the ice cream social, Big Red Showcase, things that we help to put on staff and run so that the students are intrigued and they kind of get to see what Cornell has to offer. We also do host matching, and that requires a lot of coordination between the potential hosts, which are current Cornell students who live on campus, and then the hostees, which are the prospective students. We also have museum tours because, you know, the Johnson Museum is also one of our main attractions here, and it's a very nice place, so we run those.
Being a DOC presents many challenges throughout Cornell Days, whether that be the weather not acting in your favor, some volunteers not showing up on time, some unhappy guests that are unhappy for factors that are just out of your control. At the end of the day, you just have to realize you're going to make the best of what you have because you can't change the circumstances that you're in.
It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of moving people from one place to another. You may have 4 people sign up who will do check-ins for all the students, and then only 2 or 3 show up.
The most important part of Cornell Days overall is the people working it. So there's so many different students, everyone's juggling their own schedules, their own extracurriculars and academics, so it's really the people working that make it possible.
What makes Cornell come to life during Cornell Days, and any day, is the students. It is the students, the current students.
Because it's these students working on it, it makes it so that it's a much more personal feel. So the students coming to visit will see, okay, this is what it's like to be in this sort of discipline, or this is what it's like to be involved with this kind of activity. So having actual Cornell students work is something that's made it really, really incredible and much more realistic for the kids coming to visit.
So for example, if a parent comes in and is very frustrated because the signs on the road weren't very exact and they got lost, and they're already mad at you before you start a conversation, you just have to work with them and make sure that their next steps are going to be something they enjoy and something that they're here to see for Cornell. And just keep reminding them it is never their fault. We're here to show them that this is the school for them and show them why. Secondly, weather can turn against the odds. We have everything from 60 degrees down to snow and up to 75 degrees and extremely warm. This week has been exceptionally nice. Today it's a little bit rainy, but in the end we always make it work. Indoor activities, outdoor activities, it always turns out to be a great week, regardless of what Mother Nature sends our way.
It's been really important that we can communicate to everyone else involved in volunteering how exactly each day is going to work. So part of that has been heavily based on email and Google Docs, so creating a place where everyone has access to these different changes and training programs definitely has been a really big element of it. And it's been hard, but I think the way that we've set it up has been really, really important.
It's very rewarding, especially when you see the students next year. They're like, oh, you're a lot of the reason as to why I came here.
It was truly a unique experience to know that I had a stake in their decision to come to Cornell. And the greatest thing ever was just last Sunday night when I received a follow request and a text message saying that he was going to be part of the class of 2020.
My absolute favorite part of being involved with Cornell Days is the actual interactions I've had with the students coming to visit. It's really fun. It's really entertaining to be able to speak to all these new people coming, to sort of be able to see the next face of Cornell, you know, who's going to be coming to the school. So overall, Cornell Days, it's really fun to come to if you're a visitor, but it's also a really fun thing to be a part of if you're at Cornell already.
The payoff comes next fall in August when they're moving in as freshmen, and you see the kid that you talked to in April, and you realize that you helped play an important role in him choosing to come to Cornell. That's what's really special about this program.
For students and families, it's certainly a celebration that they're admitted, congratulations, but they have some pretty tough choices to make. There's probably not a bad decision they can make, but students really looking at these institutions, where will they find their home, and where will they make their home for the next 4 years? Our ambassadors and our current students create an atmosphere of welcoming and openness when they share their perspectives and their stories, and I believe it is our ambassadors that help sell Cornell and help the admitted students and their parents work through this difficult process.
Cornell Days is stressful, it's fun, you meet a lot of people, and at the end of the day you know you're doing something good with your time. And I'm glad I became an ambassador, and I'm glad I spent a lot of time with Cornell Days interacting with people and other ambassadors.